Flurries of fun await this winter in Indiana. Feel the rush of the Midwest's only refrigerated toboggan run. Ski down snow-covered slopes and marvel at frozen waterfalls on a winter hike. When it's time to unwind, from outdoor fun to indoor escapes, your perfect winter getaway starts in Indiana. Plan your trip today at inindiana.com/winter.
Christopher Media. Let's make some noise. From Asthma Studios near Detroit, Michigan.
Oh, man.
It's the Weedsman Podcast.
I have no idea what's going on.
And now,
you have smoked yourself retarded.
Here are the Weedsmen.
You want to get high?
Welcome to the Weedsman Podcast. I'm Chris.
I'm Aaron. Welcome back.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming back after, we had a little break for the holidays there.
It's 2025.
And, Tuesday's like our day, so like the holidays falling on...
Yeah, this year we were just like,
yeah,
there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
It's my first holiday season with children involved. Holy shit, that shit is exhausting.
Yeah.
Well, too, especially because my girlfriend right now, she lives like an hour and a half away. So it's like starting like the Thursday before Christmas, it was like 2 days here, 2 days there, 2 days here, 2 days there.
Right.
And I definitely see now, because we definitely did this at the end of the night, a lot of couples at the end of Christmas night split a fucking bottle of booze.
Oh, yeah.
Just, wham, wham.
Yep.
Good night.
It's like a full-time job, and you got to be Santa Claus, too, and all that shit.
Oh, yeah. I liked it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it was just, woo.
Yeah, I just, I just get to lay back now.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
my sister still has young ones.
Yeah, yours are legally adults.
Yep.
Here, Merry Christmas, here's a bunch of money.
Yeah, part of it was money. Yeah. And my oldest told me that receiving gifts makes her really uncomfortable and she'd rather not do it.
Just say you're broke and don't have the money to reciprocate. We get it. You're in your early 20s.
Yeah.
No, there's a couple.
I know she's broke.
No, what was it? Wow, already. The Christmas 5 years ago when I was unemployed and things were tight, I just told all my family members, like, it's not happening this year. Like, I owe you one. Like, It's just, they all knew my situation. I said, no, I'm not going to put myself into credit card debt over this. And they all said, smart move. You're good.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I don't understand people that go into debt on the holidays. I mean, I guess I get it. I get the instinct, but I don't get why people go through with it and actually do it. Like I don't know. It's hard, though.
It's like, I'm keeping my lights on. Do you really need the gift card?
And it's harder now than ever before. I mean, who was I listening to? I was listening to a podcast, and they were, it was probably a Pete Holmes. I've been listening to some of the older Pete Holmes podcasts, the You Made It Weird. And one of the people that he had on his show, they were talking about Christmases and getting gifts, and he was like, the guest had gotten a NES for Christmas, and he was like, I couldn't believe that I got that. That was a huge reach. That was a huge ask to, for something that was, what was it, like $150 when it came out?
No, the Christmas I got Nintendo, I asked for an Atari.
Yeah.
And my dad was like, well, because by that point, like, the gig was up. I knew that if kids are listening, cover your ears. I knew about the Santa charade.
What?
Yeah. And so I asked for an Atari 2600 because I knew it was only $50. I said, hey, it's only $50. Give me an Atari.
Yeah.
My dad said because of that and because somebody found a deal on NESs and was like, called him on his lunch hour, like, hey, you want one? I'll pick you up one. Yeah, I'll give you the money and get back.
Nice.
He's like, because you were being responsible, I got you a Nintendo. And I was 9. I was like, yes!
Yeah.
Nintendo!
That's quite the upgrade.
Yeah. Because that was in the heart of NES. Like, that was right. So.
Yeah, my grandparents had one first, and then all my friends did. I had a 2600, but that was like well after, like, I think Super Nintendo was already out by then. And I bought, because my friend was selling his. I got like a box full of games with it. Mm-hmm. Probably gave him like $25.
Right.
Could probably double that now if I still had it.
Dude, I rode that NES till the wheels fell off. None No Genesis, no SNES. Like, put it this way, I went from NES to PlayStation. That's how long I rode that thing.
Oh, damn.
It's like, I'm going down with the ship. Also, it was like, really? I gotta spend $200 every 3 years? Fuck this shit. I'm playing this game.
Yeah, but there's no Mario Kart on the original. Yeah, but now, maybe it's equivalent dollar-wise, but I still feel like, the top-tier gaming system, like a PS5, is $500. But like $500 doesn't even really get you anything.
They're down to under $400.
$500 doesn't get you a game.
Right.
You don't get a free game with it or something. You can get bundled, but
the
you'll pay
NES
more.
at least came with 2 games. You got Super Mario Brothers and you got Duck Hunt.
Yep. And my grandparents had the whole deluxe set with the Robbie the Robot.
The robot?
Or not Robbie, Rob, R-O-B.
Now, from what I deduced,
Rob was bullshit.
Yeah, you couldn't play many games with Rob. What could you play with Rob?
Well, you could play anything that was really slow and timing didn't matter. Which is not the forte of Nintendo games.
No!
It's not what we think of. But Rob was if y'all don't remember, he was a short-lived accessory for the NES system that looked like a little robot, a very 80s like short circuit style robot, kind of Wall-E looking. And you would spin a top, right? Or
spin a top?
Yeah, or there was a motor maybe that spun the top, but there was a spinning top, and he would pick it up. That was his only movement. He would pick up the top, and he would drop it on one of 2 spots. That would either be button A or button B.
Oh.
And
so he was just a passenger between you and the button?
Right. You'd play this maze game where these pylons went up and down to you had to create a path for this guy to run through. And not even run through, walk very slowly through. And he would get to a wall or one of the pylons, and you'd then tell Rob to hit the A button. But you couldn't tell Rob. You had to push the button that made him push the A button. He didn't respond to anything other than the button that you pushed. So, yeah, it was like, it's like Professor Farnsworth's really long finger. What did he call it?
I forget. I haven't seen that in so long.
He had a name for it. He had some really crazy name. And then I unveiled it. It was just a cap for his finger that made it look like it was really, really long that he could point at stuff with. It was like the pointerizer or something like that. Yeah. This was pointless, though. It was cool as fuck looking, but that's it. We used Rob once, and then Rob fought the Transformers. Rob grabbed G.I. Joe guys and shook them around very, very slowly.
And the Zapper lasted longer than Robbie, but eventually the Zapper was like, nah.
Yeah. Well, they had Duck Hunt, and then what was the...
Hogan's Alley.
Hogan's Alley, where the guys popped up, right? That was basically like a carnival
gallery,
shooter.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I can't think of another fucking game that anyone played with that.
This was before, first-person shooter. There's so many opportunities with first-person shooters with that thing, but then again, how are you going to control it when...
Exactly. That's why I'm going through the same process in my head while you're saying that. And I was thinking, they should have just put a D-pad on the fucking hilt.
There were...
Right?
I remember there was a gun that had a D-pad on it.
Yeah, so you could actually walk around and put it up on the barrel so you could do it with the other hand.
I want to know, I'm not imagining this.
I bet you're right. It's funny, Nintendo's thing was being on the cutting edge of the technology, but it never fucking worked. And nobody really cared about it. The Power Glove was too expensive, impractical, not enough games to support it, ugly, uncomfortable.
Flurries of fun await this winter in Indiana. Feel the rush of the Midwest's only refrigerated toboggan run. Ski down snow-covered slopes and marvel at frozen waterfalls on a winter hike. When it's time to unwind, from outdoor fun to indoor escapes, your perfect winter getaway starts in Indiana. Plan your trip today at inindiana.com/winter.
Or maybe I'm just making shit up. Seeing is
it has to exist somewhere, but who knows?
It's just pictures of the OG gray one and then the newer one with the orange handle after kids were getting shot.
Oh, that's right. The orange one was the... Yeah, I remember that. Maybe it was one of those urban legend things, but I remember the story of like the kid he was in a playground and had a toy gun, and there was a cop that was like, oh shit, whoever this person is, and it was in the middle of the night, not in the middle of the night, but it was nighttime. And it was, from my memory, it was that one case that they were like, that's it. All toy manufacturers have to have orange somewhere.
Because the kid got shot. I remember.
Yeah.
He pointed it at the police, and the police shot back at him.
Yeah.
And after that, all the guns got to have an orange. Toy guns got to have an orange thing on them.
Yeah. And we were such dumb kids. We were like, this sucks. If we'd take them off. Like some of them would just, like the cheap guns would tend to just have like a little orange plastic part on it, and we'd like hack it off in our dad's garage or something.
The other day, over the Christmas thing, my girlfriend's son comes in, and he's got it and points it right at me, and it's like, spoiler alert, it came out of a vending machine. I'm shitting on my own story on how I'm delivering it here.
Yeah.
But he points it at me, and I'm like, and there's no orange on it. I'm like, oh, hey, who gave you that? Because he's got an uncle who, he does not have a gun safe. He has a gun room.
Oh, yeah?
And there are, like, little guns. There's, like, little one-bullet guns.
Right.
That do exist. He puts it at me, I'm like, I don't see the orange. I'm like, hey, where'd you get that? He's like, oh, me and my dad got out of a vending machine. I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah, no shit.
Because it's not like I'm thinking, like, I'm not saying we live in a society where this kid could have just picked this gun up. I'm saying he knows someone that possibly could have given him this little gun.
Yeah. Or he could have got his hands on it. Or he could have
got his hands on it over there. Yeah.
Right.
Let's shoot me. That's not shit on the adult. Kids are curious.
Right.
They take things. But it was because the reason I was like, hey, where'd you get that? It didn't have orange on it. So I'm immediately thinking like, oh, whoa. But I'm guessing in the 25-cent toy market, they're a little lax on regulations.
Right, probably. I was just thinking, like, I guess they just took Megatron out of production, right? Because Megatron turned into a gun.
Oh, that's right.
And I was like, I'm thinking, like, so did they make any part of Megatron orange? I don't remember them doing it. I think they just...
It's like a bent-over robot.
I think they just canceled it. Well,
it's like a robot ready to take it.
Frankly, it's a really shitty design. And it's not even like a cool looking gun that a kid would want for the 80s. It's weird. It kind of looks old school. Looks like something maybe like if you're into James Bond. Like,
if it makes you sure of anything, it's that Megatron's a bottom.
And it also... I don't follow. It also transformed into the most awkward-looking robot ever. Do you remember what Megatron looked like when he was in robot form? Look it up. Super wide-spaced hips, really thin legs, no torso.
I was about to say, what, the cartoon or the robot?
The cartoon looked fine. The actual toy, he had like this weird like metal dick sticking out.
Oh. Yeah, there's one where he's definitely... Oh, that's not him. Hold on. The robot's got a wide stance. Oh, he's Legos.
He's got a wide stance. In the restroom?
Right.
That's what I say. Starscream's like, you know what I heard about him? Megatron's got a really wide stance, if you know what I mean. No, what the fuck is that one? Where's the OG, the one that actually turned into a gun? Oh, sorry. Wow, none of those are it.
Maybe I gotta put original.
Gen G1. Try G1 Megatron.
Oh, maybe it is the wide stance robot. Is that one? Well, yeah, you also have one of these. You can just show it to me.
Yeah. I really can't find it. Boy, they really changed the design so much.
Are we really that sensitive to guns? We got to wipe all of the old images of Megatron? Come on.
Yeah, like there's the original gun, the deluxe set with the scope and everything. And it was a P-38. It's totally like a James Bond type of gun.
What's I'm saying? Is this it?
No. I swear to God, like, here he is. I found him.
Whoa.
He's got a dick.
What's going on? Yeah. What's going on in that guy's midsection?
He's like an erect dick, first of all. He's just the most awkward looking thing ever.
Wow. Yeah.
And that's your, like, main guy. Right?
He's just walking around like he just swallowed a bottle of ED pills.
And I think, like...
It's been longer than 4 hours.
Like, later on, in, like, later animated versions, he would, like, turn into some huge cannon or something like that. But they never did another official toy run. Like, yeah, and everybody else's vehicles, right? Autobots are mostly cars, autos. You know, most of the Decepticons were vehicles. Most of them were just the same fucking plane painted different colors.
Yeah. That overseas animation.
Yeah, and then
corners.
And then just yeah. There was the cooler one was, what was the purple guy that turned into the laser gun and he had like one big eye? That guy.
Cyclops?
No.
Shooting Eunice something because he's got one eye?
I think he probably was. Okay. I thought I could find it real quick. It doesn't matter. And even in the cartoons, he rarely turned into the gun, because the weird thing about when he turned into the gun, because all the regular Transformers were like huge, right?
He probably had to be mounted onto something, right? Like you couldn't just hop around and shoot.
Shrunk down. He would transform into a gun. There's a scene in the original Transformers cartoon where like him and Starscream are standing there and he's yelling at the Autobots, and then he flips up into the air, transforms into a gun and shrinks down to a smaller size and goes into Starscream's hand, and Starscream uses them to shoot at people.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
It makes no sense.
You know, teamwork.
And I get that transforming alien robots make no sense, but at least makes sense in your own universe.
I mean, I feel we're already suspending disbelief with the whole robots turning into cars thing.
They got a size relation issue with Transformers. They don't know. Like, even in the Michael Bay movies, those Transformers are fucking huge. There's no way that you could take the same material that went into a car and build it up into a 60-foot tall robot.
Right.
It just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Like, and not to mention that a semi's got a lot of air inside of it too. So, like, where's all this shit going? Where is it coming from, I should say?
They're aliens, man. Don't question it.
I have a couple Transformers toys in my studio.
Ooh.
There's not original ones. There's found these blind box toys that you kind of assemble, but they're really cool. They don't transform, but they look like Transformers. And it's not just like, clip a couple pieces together and then set it on a shelf and look at it. It's a full-on, like, snap. There's at least, like, 20 pieces that you snap together, and when it's done, you have an action figure that you can play with and pose.
Nice.
And it's actually got strong joints, too, so it's not just going to flop over.
Is it cheaper since you got to do all the work?
It's small. They're like 2 inches tall or something like that. One of them is an Optimus Prime, but he's black with a big red sword. He's called like Nefarious Prime or something like that. Insidious Prime. Darth Prime. I can't remember.
Oh, I'm trying not to be politically incorrect right now.
He's called Da Prime.
Well, that's tame compared to where I was going.
Yeah. I don't even think that's racist. There's no white people that use duh.
I mean, yeah, it was in the Coolio video. He's a Da Hood, Da Beach was on the map.
I just finished watching Detroiters, which is a great series. I highly, highly recommend it.
I keep hearing about it's been off the air for 5 years.
Outside of how great all the references are in there.
I heard for us it's just for us growing up when we grew up.
Yeah.
I think these guys also grew up at the same time ish we did.
Yeah.
I guess there's tons of shit in there we'll get.
It's just, they have to put in 5 or 6 Detroit references in every episode. It's just, it's kind of crazy because there's plenty of other shows that are Friends are in New York and Atlanta's in Atlanta and whatever, but they don't love the city. Shit takes place in cities where the city is one of the characters, but they don't you can tell everywhere that they film that was all in Detroit. There's no filming, Georgia for Detroit or Toronto for Detroit.
You know Detroit when you see it if you're from here.
You know it. All of that shit's in Detroit. And they're they work in an ad agency, and I think they're at GM or something. They get some big break, and they ask for some Vernors, and it slows the meeting down because they spend 5 minutes coughing and sneezing because of all the bubbles getting in their nose. We shouldn't have asked for Vernors.
Oh no, and it's funny because I remember doing that as a kid. After that first sip of Vernors, being your nose getting tickled.
But they had there was an episode where there's an award ceremony thing for advertisements, and it was hosted by, I forget his name. He was the other dude on the Martin Show, and
who was
Cole? Cole was the character's name.
Yeah, okay, but it wasn't Faison Love, was it?
No. His name is kind of like Cole, actually. But anyway, he was talking about, for whatever reason, how they had to share their credit. Martin won, but the show won, but we had to share all that credit with everybody who worked on the show. We had to share with Martin and with Cole and I forget who, Gina. Yeah, and and one of them goes, Shanae. He goes, Shanae was Martin. And Martin was Shanae. And they're like, what? How? They're just minds blown. Yeah, they pitched there's a 2-parter Little Caesars episode too. I got myself a Christmas gift.
What's that?
You got to do that. Nobody's going to get you what you really want. I got a Mac Mini, one of the new Mac Minis.
Do you like it?
I love it. I found a deal on it. Not Circuit City, they're gone. What's the
Best Buy?
No, the Micro
Center.
Yeah, Micro Center is dope, and they can't sell it online for this price, but in store you can get them for $4.99.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and I'm so glad I did it. I bought it for my music studio. It's handling my size. I also got some new software, and it was just really tanking my current computer. I was getting audio was breaking up constantly, so I needed to do something. So I am officially now a Mac user. I've got my iPhone here and my iPad. I've been using these devices for many years. This is the first time that I've actually owned a Mac computer.
Once you go Mac, you'll never go back.
Yeah, I immediately I turned around and looked at my DJ computer like it was a piece of shit. And I was like, we got to get you a Mac too.
I fucking hate you.
Yeah, fucking Dell.
Dude,
you're getting a Dell.
I went Mac 10 years ago. I will never not have a Mac.
Yeah. And they last too.
That's the thing. They last.
And it's with the iPhones, people upgrade because they want to.
My other Mac still turns on. It's just... It's so old, Apple refuses to run any functional software on it anymore. They're like, no, listen, you got a new one.
Yeah. Yeah, eventually, that is the thing, the way that they control the operating systems. Eventually, it would be obsolete. I mean, it'll still run, but you can't get anything new for it, which kind of defeats the purpose of having a computer, unless you just have it for one purpose. But yeah, the Max Great.
Like this iPad right here. This is an iPad 4.
Oh yeah,
it still runs like a champion. This at this point is a 13, maybe 14-year-old iPad.
Yeah, I had my 2 for a long, long time.
Yeah, it stopped accepting updates like 5 years ago, but yeah, like it's how they roll.
So yeah, I got that, and I got some software called Modular that is emulations of modular synthesizer racks. You know, the ones with all the cables that you plug into it and shit.
Oh,
the ones the mad scientist looking ones.
Well, makes sense. I've been doing it with guitars for years.
Yeah. So yeah, well, I mean, like they've been doing it with synths for a long time. Mm-hmm. The software is not new; it's been out for a while. Mm-hmm. But I just really wanted to. I know synthesis. I want to know a little bit deeper about it because, like, with that, it's not just like like guitar pedals. You plug input output, input output, input output. Mm-hmm. You know, you have to chain your audio path, but it's dependent on what you want it to do. And then, in addition to that, you have to chain your signals from the keyboard. Because that's like the first thing I did is like, oh, this is an oscillator. I plug it into this and make a noise. And I'm like, how come I got no noise? Because it doesn't know what to do with the MIDI signals that I'm sending it. I have to patch to where I want to send that note, or that, not even the note, the envelope. Mm-hmm. The fact that the note's on. Or sometimes you patch it, and if it's a 0-through oscillator, meaning like you don't have to have an input, it's just droning, and you're like, I don't know how to turn it off. So it's a little bit of a learning curve, but it's been fun, and it's been inspirational,
like a flying
too.
Saucers outside. It's your loud
drone. Yeah, it's a lot of shit like that. And it's really inspirational because, I mean, I don't know. Like, I have all these other software emulations of these great synthesizers that I love and I played around with a lot. But, you know, there's only so much you can do with even a really powerful synthesizer.
So then it was Kismet. I sent you that meme on Facebook. I had no idea. The McCartney meme.
Yeah. Yeah, with Yamaha going, we'll send him a CS80, our most powerful synthesizer.
Imagine what a Beatle's going to do with this.
Yeah. And he does the Christmas song.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're like, shit.
Like, that's all he did was like hit one key with it. He's like, oh, that's cool. Hey, it's Christmas time.
Yeah.
Let's write a song.
Well, I guess, too, he's got a song called Temporary Secretary that
Oh, yeah, it's him, I know that one.
It's a demo with him just fucking around with this new synthesizer he got.
Yeah, totally. I guess this was a really big season for the movie theaters.
I saw Sonic 3.
Did you?
I contributed.
You saw a movie?
Yeah.
You saw a new movie?
Yes.
In a theater?
In a theater.
I saw Sonic 3 too, and I quite enjoyed it. Although, there was about 15 or 20 minutes in the middle where I just flat out fell asleep.
Oh, wow.
The movie's a little too long. Little saggy in the middle. But Jim Carrey, he was great.
He showed he still got it. Like, when he taps into I'm a human cartoon character part of his brain.
Dude, he's phenomenal.
Yeah, there were a couple parts where I actually laughed.
Yeah. The fucking laser dance scene where they're trying to break into whatever thing. It's like...
But watching that, like, you have to.
When he's playing his stomach, his drums on his stomach.
But that laser dance scene, I'm sitting there like, you're watching a cartoon, because they're talking about. I'm like, would you not cover your face if if everything you just said was real? Your necks would be bloody stumps right now.
It makes absolutely no sense.
There would be bloody stumps on top of your necks based on the properties you just laid out about these lasers.
Yeah. Yeah, it establishes its own rules and then immediately breaks them.
Yes. But I had to keep
which is something that I usually hate in a movie.
But I had to be like, you're watching a cartoon. Yeah. This is for like 6-year-olds. This is not for you. Like.
And what you're really watching is just Jim Carrey just do whatever the fuck he wants. He's like, I want to do a dance scene for this. They're like, fine. Do whatever you want. But yeah, I was pretty impressed with the whole thing in general. I thought, it was enjoyable, even though I know I saw the first one. I maybe saw half of the second one. Couldn't tell you what happened in either. But
I didn't know Keanu was...
I didn't know until the end.
I didn't know till I had to read about it. I was like, everyone's famous. Who the fuck was
Shadow? Yeah.
Well, who's Tails? Tails has to be someone famous.
Tails was... who was Tails? Oh, now I gotta look it up.
I figure it's some chick. It's like Anna Kendrick or something. It's probably not. Just spitballing.
It's, no, oh shit. It's, God damn it. Google's broke. What they say is right. Let's see if, okay, IMDb seems, oh, I guess it's not who I thought it was. Colleen O'Shaughnessy?
O'Shaughnessy.
O'Shaughnessy?
Is that someone famous? Or is that like the name?
I don't know. Maybe she's really big in,
Ireland?
Voice acting. Let's see what she's known for. Credits: Bleach, Marvel Rivals, Sonic X Shadows Generations, Tails Tube, lots of Sonic stuff.
So she's the nobody.
She's apparently been doing Tails for a long time. She's not nobody. She does voices on Ladybug and Cat Noir.
Well, I guess I'm saying of the
Harry Potter.
Of the voice cast, she's the person who's not a name.
She's the one there that actually does it for a job on a regular basis.
Yes.
Yeah. Dude, Mobile Suit Gundam, the Ultraman shit. Everything that I've listed, that's just going back 2 years. Mm-hmm. They're like, oh my God, this person works a lot.
Like, I got over that it was... I stopped hearing John Ralphio, like, 5 minutes into the movie.
Yeah.
Because I hadn't seen any Sonic movies yet. I'm like, first 5 minutes, I'm like, that's fucking John Ralphio. And then you finally get into the movie.
He does really good.
Yeah.
He's really good at voice acting without being annoying. And
hey, he found a way to get paid to kids' movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know if you saw, like, a lot of the press for this. Jim Carrey came out and said, I did this for the money. I needed the money. Like, yeah. Because it was all about how he said he had retired. You know, he kind of retired, and he said he did that to get out of people's faces. But he came, well, why'd you do this one? He's like, I needed the money. He straight up said it.
Right. Well, I hope they paid him a lot, because he was all over that fucking movie. There's so much fucking Jim Carrey. And he is working. Yeah, I saw quite a few movies, and yeah, a lot of movies did really well. Like, I think it was AMC Theaters reported that they've had, like, their best year in, like, a decade.
I mean, you know it's got to be bad.
And everyone's talking about
at the beginning of Sonic, the three main actors are like, hey, man, thanks for coming to the movies.
Yeah.
Like,
well, it's been rocky. Like, it's not bad. I don't, like, this...
I'm just saying for the industry.
Right, but this shit about, like, nobody wants to go to the movies anymore. Like, that was COVID times. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I didn't even see everything that I wanted to see. I didn't get a chance to go see Queer. I heard it was all right, but I'm a big William Burroughs fan.
Queer.
So, I wanted to see that, and I like Daniel Craig. There's quite a few other movies that I didn't get. I did see Baby Girl, and I highly recommend Baby Girl. That was not the movie I thought it was going to be. And it's not even like some big twist where, like, you know, it ends and you're like, whoa, it was him. Blah. It's just, I don't know. Like, it just...
the word of mouth on it is it's weird.
It is kind of weird.
You think it's going to be one thing. Well, like what you just said, you think it's going to be one thing and then it's something else.
Yeah. Like, they set it up in the commercials where it's like, kind of a you know, reversal of the sexes type of thing, you know, younger man with an older woman, something that we don't usually see in the movies. And yeah, that it might be like the commercials the trailers wanted to make it seem like really edgy, you know, and definitely, you know, it's sexy as hell, but it's not like 50 Shades of Grey. It's not about, like, neither one of them is into this from the beginning. They're both finding it out together. Mm-hmm. These two people encounter each other and there's a spark, but they don't know exactly why, and they're kind of feeling it out. And it's a power struggle that goes back and forth. And it's just so interesting in a lot of the, like, even the little choices that they make. You know, because this is Nicole Kidman plays a woman who runs this corporation, and this guy that she's fucking is an intern. So
power imbalance.
Yeah, huge scandal right there. Somebody's gonna find out, and when they do, that the person that finds out basically uses that to blackmail Nicole Kidman's character, not into doing anything bad or anything, to actually act on a career trajectory, something that the character kept asking about throughout the movie, like, hey, are we going to sit down and talk about my next steps? And she never has time, right? Well, now she's like, okay, well, now you're going to sit down and talk to me about my next steps. But she's like, I'm not going to tell anybody else, because what would be the point? And, you know, women tear down each other enough in this world, and you've managed to build yourself up into a very powerful position. And I like that.
But now I'm trying to blackmail you.
Right. But she's not it's interesting the way that she does it. Like, it's aggressive, yes, in that it's definitely an aggressive act, but she's not really blackmailing her. I mean, she is, but she's more like, I'm not going to tell anyone, and to thank me, you're going to have a conversation about where my career goes next. Now, obviously, she's getting the promotion.
Yeah.
Right? But, yeah, I just think the movie is every bit as sexy as expected, but way, way smarter than it needs to be. And, yeah, I'm going to watch it again when it hits streaming. I think it's worth it. There's not a lot of movies that I go back and want to watch right away. We saw Nosferatu, me and my youngest.
How is that? My girlfriend wants to see it.
So I'd have to say,
I heard it's, well, because the thing is, she likes horror, and I heard it's like a fucking porno.
It's not. It's not. I mean,
I'm not seeing this with her. I told her, she's like, could you sit through this with me? I'm like,
it's not horror. Like, there's no gore, right?
Mm-hmm. I'm just not a horror movie guy.
Yeah. It's a lot of, it's eerie, it's suspenseful, it's full of tension. It's sexy, but there's not a lot of sex. There's like one nude scene, there's no sex in it. There's nothing gratuitous about the movie at all. It's all just kind of mood. It's not a gory type of horror thing. It's pretty good, but probably my least favorite of Robert Eggers' movies, who I think I've talked about The Witch before. Mm-hmm. I love The Witch. I've seen it twice now, and it was even better the second time around. Oh, God, what was the other? He did something else that I really loved. I can't remember what it's called.
Like, she likes watching weird shit. Like, she tells me about the movie she watches when I'm not around. I'm like, that's for you. Like,
yeah,
I have no interest in watching stuff. Like, yeah, she likes weird. Her and her dad.
Oh, The Lighthouse.
We'll sit there and talk about all these weird ass horror movies together, and I'll just be like, yeah, I haven't seen none of these things.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like she's got taste like my daughter and I. That's what we like, seeing weird ass movies and horror movies. And like, yeah, The Lighthouse is the other one. That was Robert Pattinson, and
but they like being scared. I said I have no desire. Like, they enjoy, like, the adrenaline rush or whatever. I told them, like, I have no, like, I said, I do not understand people who enjoy being startled.
I can't even say that I don't. I am not.
How I'm wired.
I'm not like, movies can affect me in a way that is startling or horrifying, but like, you know, that's more like a Cronenberg movie will do that to me. But most horror, even with the jump scares and all that shit, just doesn't affect me. Horror's got to be really fun and kind of like, I like Scream a lot. Scream is really fun. It knows what it is. You know,
I watched that, but I was also like 18 when that shit came out.
Yeah, everybody saw that though.
Yeah.
Like if that shit hit when you were in high school, everybody saw that fucking movie.
But that's like, that's like McHorror movie. That was made for like public consumption.
Yeah. Yeah, there's blood, but nobody's like, you know, getting a limb hacked off and held up to the camera. But yeah, Nosferatu it's just creepy. It's just creepy in a really good way. It's fun. It's not, I don't know. It lacks something. There's some sort of punch that it's lacking.
Well, I'll have to relay that information. Hey, the word of mouth online has shied her away from it because she was all pumped for it to come out on like Christmas. And as the days have gone on and she's read about it, she's like,
I honestly,
I'll wait for it to stream.
I think that's probably wise. And like, I wanted to go see it in the theater because I was like, oh, you know, horror movies, like if you're interested in a horror movie, like, why are you not going to see it in a theater with other people? Horror movies were made for that environment. And this just, like, it just didn't have that type of vibe for the theater. I think it might actually hit better, you know, when you can stream it on a big TV and shut all the lights off and just get creeped out all by yourself. I said, tell her to watch it alone with the lights off. Probably dig it. It's worth watching. If she's into that shit, and if she's into Robert Eggers at all, I'm sure she'll enjoy it. I enjoyed it. I didn't think it was like, whoa, that was disappointing. Mm-hmm. But it just doesn't, yeah. If I knew what it was missing, I'd be making films that were better. But what do I know? Another movie I did not see was what was the last Sony Spider-Verse movie? Kraven the Hunter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I did not see Kraven the Hunter. I went to see Madam Web, and even after I had read reviews, I was like, fuck it. I'll go see it. How bad could it be? But this one, I was just like, no, that's it. I went and saw the third Venom movie in the theaters. Mm-hmm. I was like, boy, that was a disappointing piece of shit that had absolutely nothing to do with the first two movies. So, yeah, I guess. I mean,
I've seen articles about how they're going to be readdressing the Spider-Verse.
Yeah, well,
maybe it's not as fruitful as a.
Well, it's not as fruitful as it could be, but they make money off it. All these movies have made their money back. Even Madam Web. None of them have like tanked. They're just not making like Marvel blockbuster type of money. But it's I was listening to Word Balloon podcast, and he interviews people outside of the comic book industry, and this was an old broadcasting buddy of his that used to work on The Score on FM radio in out of Chicago, and which, as you can probably tell, is sports related. And they were talking about the Bears, and he was griping about how the Bears are never going to get better. And you know why? There's no fucking reason for them to. Why would they? Every year the fans come out, they buy tickets, they buy the merch. They're Bears fans till the end.
Oh, you sound like a Lions fan 15 years ago, buddy. Welcome to our world.
Yeah.
Welcome to the nightmare we have been living.
Yeah, and I mean, he makes a great point. Like, if people are going to keep going, why would you invest in trying to make your team better if you're still making money hand over fist no matter what you do?
No, when we went 0-16, that's what everybody was saying. Like,
you got to stand up and like
we keep showing up. That's the problem. They don't put a better product out because we keep buying fucking tickets.
Yeah. So stop buying the jerseys, stop buying the tickets, stop buying all that shit, and watch how quickly things change.
To our credit, we didn't. The owner just had to die.
Yeah. Palak Patel, I guess, is the exec who is overseeing all of the Sony Spider-Verse stuff, and he's out.
See, Merry Christmas, you're fired.
Jesus Christ. But, like, how do you oversee all of that and still hold on to your job?
Yeah, the answer is you do not.
Oh, I guess they didn't make money on Morbius and Madam Web. I don't know. Well, that's so slippery. I mean, they like to throw out numbers like the budget was this much and the money made this much at the box office, but that's not the end all be all the money they make off of these.
It's all about after they paid all the bills, was there any money left over?
And
that is really the goal.
And I'm sure there was. Not just from like an opening box office weekend. I mean, it'd be nice when you recoup all of your profits in one weekend, but sometimes it takes a lot of streaming rights and DVD and Blu-ray sales and all different types of licensing and whatever the fuck, T-shirts.
It's like a business that has to produce now. Yeah. It has to produce quickly. If there's no profit, it is a failure.
Yeah, and you've got a really narrow window to get all of your profit.
Yeah, your window's like 2 weeks.
Yeah. These things don't have a great big long tail anymore.
Yeah.
They're not coming back into theaters next summer because everyone's still around the block to see Star Wars. Boy, Trump's really serious about this Greenland thing, huh?
Whatever.
He's
half of this shit that comes out of his mouth, I don't believe.
Yeah.
It's just him being him.
Right. Well, I mean, I've seen people have been phrasing it like Trump says something about a military option.
A lot of times, too, I just think he's fucking with people.
Greenland, and it wasn't that. It's that he was asked he was basically asked to say that he wouldn't use the military to get Greenland, and he wouldn't do it.
Yeah,
I think. When's the last time you asked Trump to say something and he did?
Yeah, well, yeah,
or do something.
In that situation, I think he's fucking with people. Like, I'm not gonna say it. You want me to say something, and I'm not gonna say it.
Yeah, right. You don't show your hand. Yeah. He's a master negotiator, right? Mm-hmm. He knows at least enough that you don't show your fucking hand. I don't know though. I think it's kind of crazy. I mean,
by the way, how awkward did yesterday have to be? You gotta swear
barriers and shit.
No, just you gotta verify that you lost in front of everybody.
Oh yeah, when you're the vice president, that's a risky game, man. A vice president running for president and loses, they have to certify the opponent's election results.
I think Jon Stewart said it. He says this is like going to your own funeral.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, I think the only person that's had to do it in recent history that we know of, at least while we've been alive, is Al Gore.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't get why Greenland was even strategically something to be concerned about. But I guess what I was reading in Slate was that the fact that the polar cap up there is melting and have opened up new shipping lanes that are usable where they don't have to have an icebreaker to move through. And being where they're positioned, Russia or China could easily have control over those shipping lanes. And so he's thinking that if we owned Greenland, that we would have more control because we'd be more local. I don't know what the actual thinking is behind it. Slate seems to think that he wants it because he thinks it's really huge, which they point out.
Because it's Slate.
Well, also, they point out that on a traditional, flat map, that's, it's warped. Where does all that extra land go when you wrap it around a globe, right? So you got to fold over. If you took a map and cut it and wrapped it around a globe, you'd have overlapping places. So what they do for those, it's a projection. They're projecting a globe onto a flat surface, which makes, because Greenland, so much of it is up at the top, it makes it expand to look like it's the size of Africa. And it does. It looks like it's as big as Africa on a flat map, but it's actually much smaller than that.
He just wants to meet Santa Claus.
Yeah.
We're going to go up there. We're going to make sure those are American toys.
But yeah,
delivered to the whole world.
For the certification, they had, January 6th, as for what happened last time, there was lots of extra security and barriers and everything up. And
snowstorm helped.
Yeah. But also, did anyone think that there were going to be a bunch of liberals storming the Capitol yesterday?
Well, now they've counted everything. No, I mean, what are you going to say?
Yeah. Well, I mean, what would they have said?
Yeah, nothing was questionable.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I think this whole election was questionable.
It wasn't as contentious. Plus, I mean, if you were working security for the Capitol and you didn't take extra precautions and there was just one nutbag that tried to, do
wearing
something.
Snowshoes.
That's your fucking job. I
mean, if you're going to try a soft coup, do it with a better candidate. That's what I don't understand.
Yeah, it's like, on one hand, I can get the appeal if you're that type of person, the appeal of Trump if you're that type of person, but the zealotry.
No, I meant with the Democrats, the soft coup within their own party.
Oh, they could have picked anybody else better.
They knew. Oh no, my blood pressure goes up. They knew he was in that shape in the primaries. They just go out there, Grandpa. I think June was them getting caught with their pants down, going, "Fuck, we can't explain that away. We've been explaining it away for 4 fucking months already, but you can't explain away live television." Even Trump had the chance. Trump had the chance to pounce on him and didn't, because it was
he felt sorry for him.
Yeah,
it's like
you paraded a fucking old man who has no idea what's going on out here.
Yeah.
What no. It's like the fox, the fox walking up to the chicken and looking around. Like, come on, man, really? No one's here? I can just eat this chicken? No, I'm not gonna eat this chicken. This is a trap. I'm not eating this chicken.
Yeah. So I guess the Zuckerberg social media platforms now are no longer going to be participating in fact-checking things.
Calm down.
I am calm. I don't care what they do.
They're dropping the independent agency that they were using to do it, which the AP dropped a year ago. And their thing was we found that there's still human biases in these things. So fuck it.
Yeah, it's useless. It's bullshit. They should get rid of it. But this is, as the Guardian puts it, a new era of lies. Mark Zuckerberg has just ushered in an extinction-level event for truth on social media.
This is why I hate the fucking Guardian.
How do you kill something that's already dead? This is like an extinction-level event for the dodo. Where is it? Point to where the truth is on social media that we should save.
And they're going to community notes, which is what X uses, and everyone's all up in arms about community notes. Really? There's a whole giant website that's community notes. It's called Wikipedia, and no one seems to have a problem with it.
And it works.
Yeah.
Most people confess. They make all the jokes about, you can't trust anything that you put on there and all this shit, but, Wikipedia fucking works and people know it.
Every now and then you do still run across something in Wikipedia that makes you chuckle.
Yeah.
But somebody catches it and fixes it.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, the fact that it's a living document is part of what makes it work. So, I don't know. There's just no... Show me where the truth is to save on social media. Even they paid another company to find truth on social media, and they still couldn't find it. They still came up short.
Yeah, they still came up with stuff. Well, yeah, he was saying that they still came up with information that we still had to go get fact-checked again.
Yeah, because there is no the truth. There just isn't. There's laws of the universe, but politics don't come into play with that. Ideas of how we should live our lives on this planet don't come into play with that. All the major things that we have to make decisions about on this planet. Why anybody decided to look to social media as the truth in the first place?
Because they weren't taught to reference in high school.
Well, Zuck's biggest mistake with Facebook is putting news on it in the first place. I
liked it as an aggregator.
Yeah.
But make sure you're aggregating the right shit. That's what it should have been doing. That's what Google News is. But at this point, I've been curating my Google News 10 years. Everything is trusted. I know where it's coming from.
I'm not saying that it was bad as an aggregator. What I'm saying is it had no place there. It's like you walk into a 7-Eleven, you're like, why is this reporter standing here shouting? Like, what? This is not the place. I'm just here to, like, get some junk food and get the fuck out. Right? I'm not there. I don't go to the 7-Eleven for my news.
Right.
I don't go to Facebook for my fucking news.
But you can still, as long as you can...
junk food and I get the fuck out.
But you can still share it, because as long as you can share a link, you can still post.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, yeah, you can share. I'm not saying that he should have clamped down on people being able to share news. But when he started putting Facebook out there as a news site and an organization that knew, that was going to get to the truth.
No. It's like saying Instagram's going to show you the truth, where everybody's filtered.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, you'd think it'd be more reliable because Instagram's all visual media. And still, it's like even less trustful than Facebook is. People can you type whatever you want into it. Like, nobody knows what the fuck.
Dude, we've entered the age where I don't even trust video.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, somebody could, type on Facebook, like, oh, I'm at this fancy restaurant, I'm doing this fancy thing, or I got, they could make it up. Who knows? Mm-hmm. But, like, seeing it, even less trustworthy for some reason. Because they build in the tools to lie to you.
Yeah, they use them as a selling point.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe this is the start of a new era for social media in general, where we can finally decide what it is, right? Because it was just a way to share things, and we figured that was limitless. And it's not. Nothing's limitless. Facebook, Twitter, no one platform can be the one everything. Like, your sole source for information and satisfaction when it comes to contact and your relationships with other people.
I feel I'm one of the few Americans that doesn't have a TikTok account left, or that doesn't have a TikTok account.
Yeah.
But I find myself on fucking Reels on Facebook. It's the same thing.
It's the same thing. Yeah.
No.
I don't do TikTok because I'm already addicted to Reels. So, yeah, I have to. Well, I can't say I do it much, but like, it probably causes me to spend more time in the bathroom than I need.
I got a millennial girlfriend too, so I get sucked into these things. Yeah. Like, she sends me them, I send them back.
Some of them are really funny and entertaining, and sexy.
I'm sure this is a thing. We use them to talk shit about our kids a lot.
Yeah.
You can't talk shit about the kids out loud in front of them.
Yeah.
They hear shit.
You have a very narrow window when they don't understand language, and you can call them an asshole to their face, and then you have to stop. I've said it. I don't know. This asshole won't stop crying. I've tried everything.
Last week was a lot of it's like the 11th day of vacation.
Yeah.
The kids are running around the house, just like...
It's cold as fucking witch's tit outside. Nobody's, like, they're all cooped up.
And she's just like, I'm ready to sell the children, that kind of shit.
Colder than a witch's tit and a brass bra.
There's one I sent her, I was like, this is definitely, like, every day between 4 and 8, my neighbors probably think I'm killing my children, and all I've asked them to do is to... do their homework and eat dinner.
Yeah. It sounds like you're running a torture house.
Yeah, it's just some chick just calmly closing all her windows. All chaos is happening around her. Yeah, man. 4-year-old gets fired up. It's all over. It's like a feral animal is in the house. Right now she's 3. She's 4 in like 2 weeks. But
okay.
Still, like,
yeah.
She gets fired up. Like I said, it's like a fucking deer got in the house.
Yeah. All right, well, let's wrap it up.
All right. Wow. I gotta remember my spiel here. At the Weedsman 420 on social media at ChristopherMedia.net, where you go. You hit the PayPal button, like Kyle did. Kyle, I was watching the Lions game. Kyle sent us a significant donation.
Oh, thanks for keeping us afloat, Kyle.
Definitely, he paid the internet bill for a month.
Nice.
Yeah. So thanks. You want to be like Kyle? You hit the PayPal button at ChristopherMedia.net, and wherever you listen to the show, you can rate it and review it and tell other people about it. We appreciate it. You still say Happy New Year? No, it's a weekend. You don't say Happy New Year.
You have 1 week to say it.
Yeah.
We're outside the window.
Well, it is the 7th for us.
Yeah.
So, Happy New Year.
Yeah, all right.
Right in the window.
Happy New Year. We'll let you get one last one in.
Stay high.
Stay high.
Thank you for visiting ChristopherMedia.net.